Welcome to Kidmissing TV. I am your host, Angelina Wilson. Today's case, is the unsolved murder of Michael Dean Klitch. It happened in the area of Africa and Plum Roads in Delaware County, Galena, Ohio. He was from Grandview Heights, Ohio. He was 12 years old. The date was June 28, 1971. He went to the tennis court to practice. He left his house between 2 and 2:10, and his mother had planned to pick him up between 3:30 and 3:40. All they found at the tennis court was a unique brand tennis ball that his father confirmed was his. 2 weeks later, on July 11th, a man, his sister, and 2 children found something they never expected in Galena, Ohio. They went into the woods to pick berries and bring the kids to a quarry to skip rocks on the pond. The 4 stumbled upon an old, partially burnt shed and peeked in and were absolutely terrified to find the body of a child, partially burned and badly decomposed. By the shed were his glasses, shoes, and tennis racket. He was later identified as Michael Dean Klitch. There was no evidence of a personal assault, but he was too far into decomposition for them to know for sure. Now, this was 1971. This was my uncle's 24th birthday when he was found, July 11th, 1971. He was wearing horn-rimmed glasses, an aqua pullover sweater with white stripes around the collar and sleeves, yellow tan shorts with knee-length white socks, white tennis shoes with a black stripe when he left home. He stopped and talked to some other kids near the church in front of his home, not far from his home. A maid at a posh high-rise near the tennis courts saw Michael playing tennis by himself that day. The luxury high-rise was called Summit Chase Apartments at Goodale Boulevard. When Mom didn't see him at the tennis court, she didn't panic right away. She dropped the other kids off at their swim lesson and went to her board meeting of the school board. After returning home from the school board meeting, she expected to find her son there, but he wasn't, and none of his siblings had seen him return home. That's when panic struck. Michael played Little League. He was center field, and he had an important game that night that he would not have missed. So his parents called police, and that's when they found his tennis ball. A $5,000 reward was offered by anonymous friends of the Klitch family. 2 weeks later, at 7:45 p.m. on the evening of July 11th, is when his body was found. The cabin had just been sold, that property, to the government, but they hadn't taken over the property yet. Because they were working on a dam about a half a mile away, and they were going to be using 1.5 miles away, and they were going to be using that area for the dam as well. And now the area is the dam. So he had been stabbed 26 times in the left chest by what they call a butcher knife. It's a chef's knife. He had been deceased for about 2 weeks prior, so he was deceased almost right away. The coroner didn't find any evidence of struggle by the victim, but couldn't determine if the victim had been inappropriately touched due to the condition of his body. They believe he was murdered at another location and set ablaze at the tool shed. His case remains unsolved to this day. I don't have a phone number for his case, do I? I do not. But you can call the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. Unfortunately, like I said, I do not have a phone number for them. But it's the Delaware, Ohio County Sheriff's Office. I don't know how far the crime scene was. I know it wasn't terribly far from the tennis courts. That is beyond upsetting. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to do one of these cases on Christmas. Nobody wants to hear that on Christmas. Nobody wants to hear that any day. What monster? I can't call him a human being, and I refuse to call him an animal because animals treat their young better than this person treated him. What monster? What depraved excuse for a human being would stab any other human being, let alone a child, 36 times and then set them on fire? I failed to comprehend that, and I'm glad I failed to comprehend that. I do wonder something. Is it possible that, if you went to the tennis courts regularly that summer, is it possible that someone was meeting him there unwillingly to him? And doing things to him, and he threatened to tell? It's just supposition on my part, but I just wonder if there was something going on and the person decided to make sure he couldn't tell what was happening to him. So, oh my goodness, there we go. Because maybe he threatened to tell. Or it could have been just a crime of opportunity that day, but that seems violent for a crime of opportunity. And it seems like overkill for a crime of opportunity. Oh, there's a kid, he's alone, let's abduct him. I just can't see that being a crime of opportunity. because he was killed so brutally. So, those are just my opinions. I always try to tell you what I think. As far as I know, there are no suspects. So, thank you so much for joining me. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you next time. I will see you Wednesday. Please subscribe. Remember, hashtag Kidmissing, hashtag Road to 1K. Guys, we're doing great. We're at 421, I believe. We're going to get our 500 for sure. So, and I think we might get it by New Year's. So, but we're trying to get to 1K next year and beyond. 1K, hopefully. But hopefully in 2025, we will have 1K. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. And I'll see you Wednesday, like I said. Bye, guys.